If you're not pushing yourself beyond what's easy, you're not growing. Period. Think about any successful person you admire, whether it's in fitness, business, or life. I guarantee you, they didn't get there by staying comfortable. They had to stretch themselves, take risks, and face challenges head on. That's the only way forward. What exactly is the comfort zone? Your comfort zone is that place where everything feels familiar. It's your daily routine, the people you always surround yourself with, the tasks you can do without thinking. It's predictable, it's safe, and it feels good. That's why so many people stay there. But growth doesn't happen there. You can't stay cooped up in a bubble where nothing challenges you and expect things to change. Change happens outside the bubble, and that's why so few people actually achieve their goals. They are afraid to step outside the bubble, because outside the bubble, things are unknown. It's uncomfortable. It might even be scary. Are you stuck in your bubble? Be brutally honest with yourself here. When was the honest last time you were challenged mentally and physically? Staying in that comfort zone is the fastest way to stagnate. It's like a muscle that never gets worked. It weakens over time. The same goes for your mind, your career, your relationships, and your overall growth as a person. How many times have you wanted to try something new, but fear held you back? Starting a new business, speaking up in a meeting, going to the gym, or introducing yourself to someone. You hesitated because it was outside of what was familiar. But guess what? Every breakthrough starts with that first uncomfortable step. If you stay in your comfort zone long enough, it starts shrinking. The longer you avoid discomfort, the harder it gets to break free. That's why people wake up 10 years later wondering why they're stuck in the same place. Don't be that person 10 years down the line. Comfort isn't just safe, it's also deceiving. A lot of people think they're making progress when they're really just spinning their wheels. They confuse staying busy with moving forward. And that's a dangerous trap. Imagine someone who goes to the gym every day, but they do the exact same workout at the exact same intensity every single time. Sure, they're showing up, they're putting in the time, but are they really getting stronger? Number, because the body adapts. Without increasing the challenge, whether it's lifting heavier, running farther, or pushing past fatigue, there's zero real growth. The same thing happens in life. You might be working hard, checking things off your to-do list, staying active, but if you're just repeating what you already know, you're not growing. You're just maintaining. And maintenance isn't progress. That's the illusion of comfort. It makes you feel like you're doing something when in reality, you're just standing still. It's like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not actually getting anywhere. So the real question is, are you just busy or are you actually growing? Let me tell you about a guy named Mark. Now, Mark was good at his job. He'd been working at the same company for almost 10 years, and he knew his role inside and out. He was reliable, efficient, and he got his work done. But he always talked about wanting to start his own business. He had ideas, plans, things he wanted to do, but every time the opportunity came up to take a risk, he hesitated. He told himself, I'm comfortable here. I make decent money. I know what to expect. Fast forward 5 years, his company goes through layoffs, and he's let go. Suddenly, the comfort he relied on is gone. And because he never took the time to grow beyond his routine, he's left scrambling. He watches younger, less experienced people land jobs ahead of him. Not because they're better, but because they took risks. They learned new skills. They got uncomfortable when they didn't have to. So when life forced them out of their comfort zone, they were ready. Mark wasn't. And that's the biggest danger of staying comfortable. It might feel secure, but it's an illusion. Because life will throw challenges your way. The question is, will you be ready for them, or will you be playing catch-up? The longer you choose comfort, the harder it gets to step out of it. You've probably heard the phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And while it might sound cliche, there's actually science behind it. When you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally, your brain and body adapt. You become stronger, not just in that moment, but long term. Discomfort leads to growth. When you push yourself, your body reacts by releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Now, most people hear stress and think it's a bad thing. But not all stress is harmful. In fact, this type of stress, what scientists call eustress, is actually good for you. Eustress keeps you alert. It sharpens your focus. It primes your body and mind to rise to the occasion. Once you overcome the challenge, your body recovers and adapts, making you stronger than before. When you lift weights, you're actually creating tiny micro tears in your muscle fibers. Your body repairs those fibers, making them bigger and stronger. That's how strength is built. But if you never increase the weight, if you never push past that burn, your muscles stop growing. The same principle applies to your mind and life. If you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing. Period. When you face a difficult situation, your brain goes into problem-solving mode. It rewires itself to handle the challenge. This process is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to adapt and change. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more connections your brain forms. This is how you build new skills, develop resilience, and gain confidence. But here's where most people get stuck. When they feel uncomfortable, when that anxiety kicks in, when things feel hard, they back off. They assume, maybe this isn't for me. But what's really happening is their brain is just experiencing growing pains. It's literally in the process of adapting. If you quit when things get uncomfortable, you stop that process dead in its tracks. You rob yourself of the growth that was just around the corner. Growth happens at the edge of struggle. If you walk away from discomfort, you walk away from your own potential. Think about the most successful people in the world. Entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, they all have one thing in common. They've been through failure and rejection, but they didn't let it stop them. Why? Because they built up resilience by facing discomfort instead of running from it. This is what separates them from the average. This is why they achieve success and recognition. And when you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort, your confidence skyrockets. The only way to build confidence is through action. You don't wait to feel ready. You do it scared. And that's what makes you stronger. So, if you're avoiding challenges because you're waiting for confidence to show up first, you're doing it backwards. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. There's a concept in psychology called the stress adaptation response. It's the idea that when we face challenges, our brain and body don't just cope, they adapt. They become more efficient, more capable, and more resilient. This is why Navy SEALs go through brutal training. It's why elite athletes push themselves past exhaustion. It's why the most successful people in the world take risks, fail, and keep going. Because they understand that resistance is a good thing. It's what makes them better. They make that choice to get uncomfortable. This is again what separates them from the average. Do you want to be average? Your brain actually rewires itself when you push through resistance. Every time you do something difficult, your brain forms stronger neural connections. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's the reason why challenges make you mentally tougher over time. So if resistance is so good for us, why do most people avoid it? Because our brains are wired for comfort. When faced with discomfort, your brain's instinct is to pull you back into safety. It's called the fight or flight response. Your brain thinks discomfort equals danger, so it tells you to stop, procrastinate, or come up with an excuse. It's a primal response to keep us alive, but that doesn't mean we should always listen to it. The thing you're avoiding is probably the thing that will make you stronger. Avoiding resistance doesn't protect you. It limits you. But facing resistance, that's where growth happens. What if, instead of avoiding resistance, you started seeking it out? What if you made discomfort part of your daily routine? Just like lifting weights, just like training a muscle. How much stronger would you be in 6 months? A year? 5 years? You don't have to take on massive challenges overnight. Just do one thing every day that makes you uncomfortable. Over time, you'll build up your resistance tolerance. Instead of thinking, this is hard, I should stop, switch your mindset to, this is hard, which means I'm growing. The moment you shift your perspective, discomfort becomes an opportunity, not a threat. You're only as strong as the people around you. If you're constantly surrounded by people who avoid resistance, you'll do the same. But if you surround yourself with people who push themselves, challenge themselves, and level up, you'll rise to their level. Resistance is the price of growth. If you're not facing it, you're not growing. Are you willing to step outside the bubble? When you feel fear or excitement, your body activates the same system, the sympathetic nervous system. It releases adrenaline, increases your heart rate, and sharpens your senses. Physiologically, fear and excitement are almost identical. The only difference? Your mindset. When you think you're in danger, your brain labels this rush of energy as fear. It tells you to back off, avoid the risk, stay safe. But when you're looking forward to something, your brain labels that same physical reaction as excitement. It tells you to lean in, to embrace the moment, to go for it. Fear is just excitement without breath. If you can train yourself to interpret those nerves as motivation instead of danger, you can completely change the way you experience discomfort. You're not afraid, you're excited. Feeling fear doesn't mean you're not ready, it just means you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. And that's exciting. Instead of, I'm nervous or I'm afraid, say, I'm excited, I'm ready. This is an opportunity. Shift the mindset. Most people experience discomfort and see it as a problem. But high achievers, they experience that same discomfort and think, I must be doing something right. One person quits, the other grows. And the only difference is mindset. Discomfort is a sign that you're breaking old patterns. It means you're stretching beyond what's easy and familiar. It's literally proof that you're growing. Your brain is designed to adapt. Every time you struggle with something new, your brain is forming stronger neural connections. But if you never challenge yourself, if you always stay in the comfort zone, your brain stops adapting. You plateau. You get stuck. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what was the hardest thing I did today? If you can't think of anything, that's a sign you're playing too small. Discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to keep going. Most people quit when things get hard, but winners, they feel discomfort and think, this means I'm on the right path. They see struggle as a sign of growth, and because of that, they keep pushing when everyone else gives up. Start setting challenges just outside your comfort zone. Live on the edge of your comfort zone, not so far out that you shut down, but just enough that you keep growing. Failure isn't a stop sign. It's just data. It's feedback that tells you what's working and what's not. When athletes lose a game, they don't quit. They study the tape, figure out what went wrong, and adjust. They use failure to get better. Why aren't you doing this? Start acting like those who are at the top. And your comfort zone isn't just about you. It's about who you spend time with. If you're surrounded by people who play small, make excuses, and stay comfortable, guess what? You're going to do the same. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge themselves, who push harder, who don't let fear stop them, you'll rise to their level. Look at the people around you. Are they challenging you? Are they holding you accountable? Are they pushing you to be better? If not, find new influences. Listen to podcasts that inspire you. Read books by people who think bigger. Join a community where people expect more from themselves and from you, because your environment matters more than you think. If you want to grow, discomfort isn't optional, it's the path. Set challenges that push you. See failure as feedback. Surround yourself with people who demand more. And take daily actions that make you uncomfortable. Success isn't about talent, it's about who is willing to get uncomfortable the most for the longest. Are you willing? Because if you are, there's no limit to how far you can go. Knowledge doesn't change your life. Action does. You can listen to all the motivation in the world, but if you don't do something with it, nothing changes. And action starts with your choice. The choice to wake up early instead of hitting snooze. The choice to speak up in a meeting when you'd rather stay silent. The choice to push through that last rep in the gym when your body wants to quit. The choice to take an opportunity, even if you feel unqualified. These little moments of discomfort, they add up. Every time you push through resistance, you're training your brain to handle challenge. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And over time, those small, uncomfortable actions turn into a lifestyle of strength and resilience. Start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. You can't build muscle without resistance. You can't build confidence without challenge. You can't build success without risk. The moment you stop avoiding discomfort and start leaning into it, that's when everything changes. So stop waiting, stop playing small, lean into the challenge, seek out the resistance, because that's where your next level is waiting. And if you're serious about growth, I want you to take it a step further. I want you to share your experience. Tag me on social media, send me a message, or drop a comment on this, because accountability is powerful. And the more you lean into discomfort, the more natural it becomes.